Good evening. This is about 3:30 here in the great state of Texas. Here again, this is your favorite comrade from Don Daniel. I am bringing this attention not only to the United States government, to all the rest of other international community, the United Nations, the U.S. Congress, the U.S. State Department, the White House, the U.S. Department of Defense, the U.S. Embassy in La Republique, and the U.S. Africa, despite the fact that evidence has shown that La Republique was responsible for the massacre that occurred in Southern Cameroon territory, the Gembu massacre, where 14 innocent children were brutally murdered and young girls, including a pregnant woman and one later gave birth, is in critical conditions. And yet, La République du Cameroon defense minister came out vehemently and unapologetic, claiming that they are not partly responsible. It is an absurd that such carnivorous animals like La République du Cameroon, especially the defense minister, think that people are idiots to come and say that the incidents wasn't responsible. They were not responsible. It is absolutely an absurd. We also remember the communication minister during the massacre in the north. One of the communication ministers came out and declared vehemently that they were not responsible and citing a nation that had no boundary with the Southern Cameroon territory and that the incident took place elsewhere. It is an absurd that such personalities will claim that the incident that happened, instead of being apologetic, in more to that, they claim that it was a bomb blast. How did the bomb blast happen in that local community at that hour of the day? It is terrifying to see this behavior. However, I am urging the United States government to step up its impromptu investigation, not rely on foreign diplomat. I think the U.S. Embassy in La Republique can do better. I am also bringing this attention because there is another plan by the same regime, pay the sum of 100,000 and above to a certain individual young children. And those children may be from Western province that have what they call broken English. And those boys may be staging any moment from now, or they are in the practice stage to demonstrate that the incident that happened was caused by them, to claim the ownership of what happened. It is an absurd that this brutal, evil La République du Cameroon, lack of human dignity and human respect for human, and just behave like an animals. Why they still planning this? They're staging behavior to show that what happened was demonstrated by the Amber. Those individuals that they have paid close to 100,000 CFA or more just to stood up and demonstrate that were actually involved in the massacre and that they were fighting for the Ambazonia. It is absolutely disturbing. I hope the United States is prompt in and stage and find out exactly this massacre. It's terrifying. And while we're waiting for what is going on, secondly, why did they refuse the United Nations officials entrance into the investigations? Of course, they block the United Nations officials in a village and prevent them from immediate access, so they can prepare and clean their mess. Fellow United States government, fellow citizens of these great nations, it is a disturbing seeing these young children murdered intentionally by the military for their own egoistic personal interests, simply to show that they need to get hold of the Southern Cameroon territory. It is in this regard that I urge the United States to step more. This is Fundon Daniel speaking this evening on a new plan pay young guys from either Jang or Mbunda who has some idea of broken English to stage and acknowledge the massacre. Fellow citizens of Southern Cameroon, do not be fools. But once wounded, always know, remember your enemies. La Republique du Cameroon. Have a wonderful good night.